Hello and welcome to Miss Charlotte Astrology. My name is Charlotte. I'm a full-time working astrologer, and on this channel I analyze the astrological charts of public figures. And very often they are celebrities, and that certainly will be the case today as I'll be analyzing the synastry chart of music producer and rapper Jay-Z. So, there's been lots of whispers all over the internet that he may be on the brink of his downfall. I mean, he was also born in 1969. He was born within he and P. Diddy are the same age. They work in the same industry. They are, I guess, colleagues to a certain extent, or they run in the same circles. And if they have done business together, if there are business links here, you know they're going to get investigated by the feds. So Jay-Z, I mean, allegedly has hired both a divorce lawyer and a defense attorney, a defense lawyer. So yeah, allegedly. But yeah, everybody's like, can you have a look at Jay-Z's chart? I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's have a look. He too has his North Node in Pisces, and he is on his way to having his nodal return. Like, you can, like, if you have your North Node in Pisces, you can feel the ground shift beneath your feet, right? Can you feel it, ladies and gentlemen? Can you feel it? Yeah, that's your nodal return. So if you were born in 1969, around there, if you were born in 1988, 89, like, your nodal return is coming for you. So yeah, don't traffic people and don't be a bastard, and then you're fine. Anyway, so yeah, that's his North Node right there. You can see it. North Node in Pisces. The release of control, learning to go with the flow, not an easy thing for a control freak of a man. And of course, his Sun and Mercury square off with it. It's not cooperative. See, here's the thing. When you have a North Node and you've got planets that are like you've got like asteroids, planets, or points in the chart that's squaring it, then it's going to be a bit more painful. There's an element of like pain with the fulfillment of your destiny, or there's a challenge there. There's a compromise there. So with his North Node in Pisces, which is about the release of control, which is about the release, there's a lot of power in Pisces. But if you got no planets there, it's a little bit harder to achieve. And if you've got no nice aspects to it, it's a little bit harder to achieve. And if you've got hard aspects like squares, you may have to sacrifice something. So for him, his sun is at 11 degrees. So there's a 6-degree orb with this, but that's okay. It's still a square. I mean, the sun is the ego. It's your individualism. I mean, it's your creativity. It's your identity. I mean, sun square the North Node, there may be an element of disgrace, like you'll lose face while on your path to your destiny. Like Sagittarius, it's a fire sign. They love power. They love control. I mean, I love my Sagittarius. By the way, this is not me chatting shit about Saggies. Like, you're my best friends. Like, let's go party in Greece. But, if a Sagittarius sun with a North Node in Pisces, there could be, a forfeit of control. There could be disgrace. There is a humbling here, right? There is a humbling. I mean, it's not easy because the sun is where you shine. Like, it's your individualism. It's like where you have honor. And if you've got a North Node that is not in cooperation with that, then you're going to have to forfeit that ego, let that go. Mercury is the mind. Mercury is communication. Mercury also governs like agreements, like friends, things like that. So that's also squaring that North Node. So he may be losing friends. He may be losing connections. He may be actually silenced. So communicating, talking is not going to be helping him here. Like, this is like a complete release of control. Let's just like have a look. Let's move out. Are there any positive aspects to this? No. There's not, like, even his water placements in Scorpio, because they're at late degrees in Scorpio, they're not even trining that North Node. Nothing's going to save him. I mean, if it would help me if I actually have his like correct time of birth. His chart has a C rating, on a C Rodin rating, which is like proceed with caution. So I can't for sure say that he is a Virgo rising. I wouldn't pick him as a Virgo rising either. He just seems more like he seems to be more of a Leo type. Anyway, I just don't pick him as a Virgo rising at all, but I'm just using the chart that astro.com has. So there's no real positive aspects to that North Node. Maybe there is if I had the rising, maybe there's a point in the chart that's favorable, but this looks like a bit of an ego death to me. His relationships, platonic, romantic, business, they lack boundaries. He needs control. He's a Venus in Scorpio. A Venus in Scorpio, within their relationships, there's always a fight for power and control. Because Scorpio is a Martian sign. It's like Venus in Scorpio. I'm not like Venus and Scorpio people like some of the loveliest people. Like I know quite a few friends with Venus and Scorpio, but I would never date them. We'll just be friends. Because if your Venus is in a Martian sign like Aries, like Scorpio, there's always going to be an element of like conflict, or there's going to be a need for power within the relationship. My Venus in Taurus is not interested. I'm sorry. And then on top of that, with his placement, he's got a conjunction with Neptune. So, lacking boundaries. That's a bit of, listen, I'm not saying with every single case of, Venus-Neptune conjunctions, there's going to be cheating, but that's the Pisces planet. The planet of love, Venus, and then the planet of secret enemies and drugs and betrayal and delusion and fame and fantasy is that's in a conjunction. They're in a conjunction. It all makes sense now, there's a reason why Beyonce doesn't do interviews anymore, right? There's a reason why she is kept under lock and key. And allegedly, according to a bodyguard, she is given substances. If that is true, I would not be surprised. I'm not surprised because look at this placement. He's a control freak. Yeah, he does. I think he really does lack boundaries in his relationships. And I think he plays a dirty game when it comes to love and connections. And that said, I'm not saying that he's not capable of love. Like I very much think he is capable of love, but I also think he's very possessive over the people that he claims to love. Very possessive. Like Scorpio's Hades. This fire and brimstone, and it's very, very dark. He's got a very dark Venus. He also has Neptune and Venus squaring his Mars. Wants his cake and eat it too. Greedy. Wants to have his cake and eat it too. That kind, he's just very greedy. Okay, so when you have a Mars square Venus, your ambition, Mars being your phallus, right? Mars is the PP, right? Mars, phallus. If it's an Aquarius, that's the type of person who is I'm going to do whatever I want to do. They can be quite reckless. They can be quite sexually reckless. Aquarius is the sign of chaos and rebellion. Mars in that sign, that's someone that can't be told what to do. They make their own rules. They dance or they march to the beat of their own drum. And that Mars squares off with Venus, squares off with Neptune. He could get in trouble, and he has gotten in trouble for being sexually reckless, sexually irresponsible. He's betrayed people that he loves. Venus is it's your heart. It's your, it represents love and relationships. And Mars is very much focused on the self. He breaks his own heart. And I think even P. Diddy has a similar thing. His Mars, I think, is his Mars in a, I can't remember what his Mars was in. I have it in another video. But he also has, he's got Mars in Capricorn. That's right. P. Diddy has Mars square Venus. And yeah, he will betray people. Like Mars square Venus, they will betray people. It doesn't necessarily mean that they'll go out and think, yeah, I want to betray this person, like screw them. It's more like I'm impulsive and there's Becky with the good hair and she looks really good right now and we can just do this in the closet and no one's going to find out, and then it gets found out. Like, it's like they are slaves to their senses. They're slaves to their ambition. They're slaves to money. They're slaves to their impulses. And when they act on their impulses, they hurt themselves and they hurt other people. Mars square Venus. The dick and the heart are not in alignment. That's what a square is. There's no alignment. There's a contradiction here. Because in his mind, with a Venus in Scorpio, with Neptune, I love my family. I'll do anything for my wife and my family. I'm going to create a whole empire for my family. We're going to be the next royals of America. And then I'm going to screw Becky in the closet. I'm going to put everything that I've built, everybody that I love, I'm going to risk all of it for Becky with the good hair in the next room. And maybe I'll get found out. Oh, well, like, I didn't mean to. Oh my God, this back and forth, this square is frustrating. This is why Mars square Venus sucks. It sucks because you have to, if you've got this placement, you cannot do, like, you have to control yourself, and that's hard because Mars is an impulsive planet, especially when it's in an impulsive sign like this. At least Diddy has Mars in Capricorn, which is like a bit better. It's more intentional. I'm not saying he's he's worse. That's actually makes him worse. But he got away with it longer because Mars in Capricorn is more patient. Mars in Aquarius is way more reckless. So yeah. It just came to my mind. Oh yeah, the wife is a slave. Partners, like romantic partners, are slaves. Venus with that Neptune. He's a Libra Moon though. A Libra Moon with Uranus in a conjunction. That's also a bit chaotic. He is someone, and I'm a Libra Moon as well. They really want equal partnership. They really want an equal give and take. That's why being with Beyonce is super important to him, even though he betrays her over and over and over again, and allegedly doesn't treat her very well. He needs to have a partner. It's a bit of a codependent placement. But he's also really emotionally unpredictable. I do think he has. I reckon he's got a bad temper, or he changes his mind really quickly. It's just he's very emotionally chaotic with that conjunction. And there's obviously a lot of people in his life. Like Moon in Libra is a bit of a social butterfly. He knows everyone. He knows everyone's secrets. Libra, Scorpio placements, they know everyone's secrets. And then obviously Uranus is a generational planet and it governs Aquarius, which is, that's a social sign. Uranus is a social planet. It's a generational planet. If that's in a conjunction with the moon, he knows a lot of people. He's got a lot of leverage over people. And actually forms a sextile with these late degree Scorpio placements. So he's just charming enough to get away with everything at this point in time. Pluto square Mercury, so that could indicate a complication with contracts. I also think he's under the thumb of other people. There are a lot of people under Jay-Z's thumb, but he's also under the thumb of others because a Pluto square Mercury could be a complication with contracts. It's almost not the same, but very similar to having, like, say, Mercury in the 8th house. Because when you have a Pluto Mercury aspect or a Scorpio 8th house Mercury, like there are complications with contracts here. He's under the thumb of someone. Like I said in a previous video, did I say it about Justin or P. Diddy? If you have a generational planet like Pluto, remember Pluto is money, power, death, transformation. If that is not in a good aspect with a personal planet, then there's someone bigger than you, more powerful than you, that is controlling you, telling you what to do, or specifically for him, telling him what to say, how to conduct himself. There's a reason why he's really quite private, very quiet, but he He has a lot of power, but that's because someone gives him that power. Oh, is he being blackmailed? It's giving blackmail. It's giving, yeah, complications with contracts. Anyway, and he's got his Chiron return happening now. Not easy. Chiron returns happen when you're in your 50s. Oh. And that North Node is going through that 8th house, and then Saturn is going to be meeting up with it very soon. This is a divorce transit. If this is his 7th house, if this is not his real chart, whatever, that's fine. But I just want to let you know, Saturn moving through the 7th house, Saturn moving over the descendant, is either you're getting married or you're getting divorced. Like the relationship is getting serious, that kind of energy. There could be like just the relationship could falter in some way. It doesn't necessarily mean that your relationship is going to end. Calm down. But we're talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce, who've been together for a very long time, have had many hiccups in their marriage, and now there's this Diddy thing that's happened. So if this was his chart, I'd be like, oh yeah, that looks like a divorce. Yeah. This is harsh. Also, I just want to point this out. You see this? You see these two little asteroids? That's Pallas Athena. That's creative and strategic genius. And you see that other one, the spiky one? That's Juno. That's the wife. That's marriage and contracts. It's in the sign of Capricorn, which is money, which is business. So clearly, there is a connection between strategy, creativity, marriage, and business. Do you see what I'm saying here? And it's so that's there. Him being married is very good for his creativity and is very good for his brand. So, yeah. Anyway, I wish I knew for sure what time he was born. This would help me a bit more. And it would help. It would just make the reading a bit more accurate. So, if you guys actually know his correct birth time, if there's someone out there, let me know, please. By the way, these people in the entertainment industry, if you don't have their birth time, it's because they are hiding it from you because they mess with astrology. Like Beyonce, we don't have her birth time for a reason because she messes with astrology, as does Taylor Swift. Like they all do it. So it's probably the smart thing that they keep it from us. But if we could find out, that'd be great. Also, just letting you know, Jupiter is marriage. His Jupiter is in Libra. He has a moon in Libra. So obviously, like Libra energy is the marriage energy. And from memory, Beyonce has, I think, a stellium in Libra. I think she's got Libra Venus. So that makes a lot of sense. They're very powerful together. Let me know if you'd like to see me do a synastry between Jay-Z and Beyonce, because they're interesting people. Yeah, this one's a bit of a short one today. I just can't be sure about this Virgo rising. I just can't be sure about it. But yeah, I can see that something is headed his way. And when that Saturn gets out of retrograde in November and it's actually properly moving over that North Node, yeah, he might be he might be paying for something. He might be paying for something. The South Node is doing its thing as well. And that North Node moving over his Chiron, that's an insecurity around masculinity, isn't it? That whole generation born with that Chiron in Aries, the men born in the late 60s and 70s with that Chiron, I wonder they're so dysfunctional. Anyway, that's all I have for you on this. I will make amendments to this chart. I will do this again if we can actually get a proper birth time. Thank you so much for joining me today, and let me know in the comments who else you'd like me to analyze. Okay, thank you. Bye.